Greetings to all you wonderful people out there. Susan the Cracked Egglet, Mountain Woman, Jillian, Carla, Karen, Alex. How are you all doing today? I'm going to be doing this stream from the lovely Houston, Texas today, as I always do. To support this stream, please go to angelpaste.com. Promo code Shapiro. Food-grade plant oils put together in such a way as to give your skin a luminous appeal that can only be achieved by people who don't care about profit margins. This was made by somebody who cared about making her clients look great. Angelpaste.com, promo code Shapiro, now in new pear scent. Had my $1 million facial yesterday, guys, and it went even better than any other $1 million facial. It's super, super great. PN102, Juliet, how are you, my dear? So, how's everything? DDQT, Michelle Miller, Led Zeppeliner, Bob D, Lisa Gag. Good evening to all of you. So, how's everybody doing? JC Bird, how are you, sir? By the way, guys, I don't know if you know this, but they're totally rolling out Odyssey live streaming to everybody. So, that's getting really exciting. Because once that happens, it's off to the ratings races for us, guys. Note the title of this stream is It Will Be Daddy Justice Crapping on Him This Time. That is thanks to our very own Joe Pappas. These are quotes from the movie Idiocracy. We will run out of quotes eventually. And when we do, I think I'm going to switch to The Big Lebowski because I've got that movie memorized too. Spirit Fox, Bonneville Pontiac, Joe Woodwell, how are you? Lakeside 2002, what do you say we get this pre-show started with Susan the Cracked Egglet, the sit rep from Monkeyworks. Now, Susan isn't the only person writing to me about the sit rep. Also, David Gentlecore as well. So something's up. Let's find out. Hello, Patrick and friends. This is the Cracked Egglet coming to you from the sunny state of South Carolina. Sorry, I'm a little late on this. Remember, this is for Friday, 4/16. And I wasn't able to finish before Patrick went live. So let's get to the Cliff's Notes of the skies for today. 1, H-60s, helicopters. East Coast is active. Got a lot of helicopters up. 2, P-8s and P-3s, sub-hunters. Had about 6 total up. We did have some along the Florida East Coast where we have been seeing them for weeks. P3 up off the coast of Nova Scotia as well. 3, TFRs, temporary flight restrictions. Biden has his big TFR over his real home in Delaware. I looked into this, and the reason it's so large is because it encompasses both his homes. He's leaving for home today. 4, Biden. He was up around 9:45 a.m. and got his daily meds at 9:50. He had some meetings that he likely slept through, and then he was caught eating AA batteries out of the White House TV remote. My inside sources say he's recovering, but since the incident, he has been restricted to only the larger D batteries due to choking hazards. 5, Guantanamo Bay. It's a quiet day at the spa. The unclassified docket for Guantanamo Bay is still all canceled, so the schedule looks empty. But that could mean there is some classified trial going on that we don't know anything about. There is a rumor about Hillary Rodham Clinton being on trial. Monkey doesn't buy it, but I can't verify whether it's true or not, so take that with a grain of salt if you have heard this rumor. We don't know what's true and what isn't. Where does that expression come from? Take it with a grain of salt. I'm curious about that. Never looked it up. 6, Opelika. Now, about the Opelika Airport in Miami, the one agency birds have been coming in and out of from past sit reps. There is some history behind it, the Opelika Airport. The CIA used to operate out of one of the buildings there called Building 67. And it doesn't look to be there any longer. Monkey goes into what is around the small airport and points out that it would be very easy to have a small black site right outside the airport in one of the neighborhoods or warehouses. DCAF, Department of Children and Families, is also located near there. I guess it's the Child Protective Services. of Florida. Furthermore, there is a street named Langley, as in Langley, where the CIA operates out of in Virginia. 7, Honduras. This is an alternate prison location. Monkey points out we have an out-of-sequence flight that came out of Port-au-Prince, and he says there was an article that he read a couple of days ago regarding someone being arrested or some activity going on in Port-au-Prince, and that someone stepped down, and now we have this random flight into Honduras. I did a quick search, and yes, there are quite a few articles for Haiti Prime Minister steps down. Haiti government resigns amid violence and unrest. So that's that, maybe. Who really knows? I did not dig further. 8, N312FU. Maxwell bird. It's currently in South America, Colombia. It's been all over the place, including Opalaca. This is an agency bird. 9, Phoenix Air. Seems to be a new pattern may be happening with these. We are keeping a watch. These are agency birds. 10, Sniffer. It was up on April 14th. When the Sniffer helicopter is up, it's looking for anything in the air that shouldn't be there, biological, nuclear, chemical, etc. It was checking the coast and the waterways by DC. 11, DEFCON 3. Rumors were saying we went to DEFCON 3 Friday, and Monkey confirms it. I also looked into it myself, and yes, it appears we are at DEFCON 3. What it means is a yellow alert, increased military readiness. They can mobilize in 15 minutes. Monkey says he hasn't seen us at DEFCON 3 in years. He was taking a look at the Middle East and says it may be related. If we move to 2, it's showtime, says Monkey. And if we should go to DEFCON 1, pray. Pray hard. That's it for Friday. I'll catch you guys tonight. Sorry, I had to duck out early last night. If anything else pops up, I'll let you know. The full stream of the SitRep from Monkeyworks is on YouTube. Susan, the Cracked Egglet. Thank you, Susan, as always. And just as a little aside, David Gentlecore writes, Patrick, April 17th, Q posted this. Now, just for the grins, guys, just hear me out. I need to download this first. Do I even know how? Hang on, bear with me. Bear with me while I download this and I show it to you, because I want to show it to you. Let's call it Q0417. This is a Q drop. It's now downloaded. Open. You just know this is going to be great. If it opens. I don't know. Oh, yippee, it opened. All right, now I got to make it big enough for you to see. Bam. Okay. Make sure I got it. All right, hang on. All right, so check this out, guys. I'm going to share it. And then you tell me what you think. So this is April 17th, 2017. Is that what I'm showing you? Fuck it. All right, just take a look. At the bottom of this, it says BDT and DEFCON. Direct Q. I don't know what BDT stands for. Also, same day, the Second Amendment will never be repealed as much as the Democrats would like to see this happen. And despite the words yesterday of former Supreme Court Justice Stevens, no way, we need more Republicans 2018 and must always hold the Supreme Court. BDT and DEFCON, direct, Q. Okay, guns are safe, trust the plan. All right, guys, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. That is from David Gentlecore. He says, yesterday's Monkeyworks around the 43-minute mark discusses going to DEFCON 3. He hasn't seen activity like this since 9/11. I'd like to be able to watch the 1-hour-long sit-rep, but I haven't been able to get it to load at all. All right. We all know what the DEFCON warning system is. Well, at least I hope we do, this audience. I know it because of the movie War Games. If you haven't seen the movie War Games, watch that. You'll know all about the DEF CON system. So I want to, let's check into the chat. DEF CON 3, Russia. They did kick out all the Bidenettes. Juliet, your guess is as good as mine. DEF CON 3 means Trump is glaring at China. DEF CON 1 means Donald Trump is going to choke a bitch. You know, Rex, I'm probably in your camp if it had to come down to guessing. Sometimes can't decide whether to YouTube it or Twitch it. Do them both, bro. I could use the traffic. Not really sure why. Hey, I got 105 people here. That's freaking badass. All right. Jose Woodwell. I think your name's actually just Joe. Anyway, DEF CON 3 is serious stuff. Wow, we're staring down an adversary right now, not playing around. I guess. Sounds good. BDT. Oh, yeah, that's the one I wanted to know. What does BDT stand for? Blunt Direct Time? Is that what it stands for? Yeah, Enzo. Great Dabney Coldman flick. He's referring to War Games. My favorite line from War Games is, I want to say, General McKittrick, after due consideration, I have decided that your system sucks, or something like that. All right. Twitch on. Oh, look at what Juliet's doing. YouTube on laptop, Twitch on my phone. That's freaking awesome. BDT, Base Development Team. Wait, what? Wait, sorry, guys. Okay. Is that a bad thing? Says it's Base Development Team. It's also, okay, BDT also referred to Bangladesh and the dude that thought he had a bomb in the New York City subway. It turned out to be fireworks. Okay, thank you, Andy. Did you ever accept Alex Jones's nickels to get on his show? I'm going to tell you right now, I've never been offered a single nickel, and I think I would go on Alex Jones's show, I guess. I still think he's a shill, though. But I think I might sort of get the reference to the nickels, though, Ron Santos. So very clever. El Rofo, how are you? So let's see. How is everybody doing? A bomb disposal team. Okay, bomb disposal team. Fair enough. All right. BDT is a throwback to when Q predicted the failed Times Square bombing, the guy who had fireworks in his trunk that didn't detonate. Okay, thanks, Rex. All right, I think that we can just settle on that one for now. So, what do you say we go to Special Ops Kim? Moving on from the topic of flights and stuff, I think it's important for us to take a look at a letter from a father who pulled his child from a New York City school. Kim was good enough to remove all the commentary from the rather insipid Barry Weiss. It's entitled, "You Have to Read This Letter." Okay. April 13th, 2021. Dear fellow Brearley parents, our family recently made the decision not to re-enroll our daughter at Brearley for the 2021-2022 school year. She has been at Brearley for 7 years, beginning in kindergarten. In short, we no longer believe that Brearley's administration and board of trustees have any of our children's best interests at heart. Moreover, we no longer have confidence that our daughter will receive the quality of education necessary to further her development into a critically thinking, responsible, enlightened, and civic-minded adult. I write to you as a fellow parent to share our reasons for leaving the Brearley community, but also to urge you to act before the damage to the school, to its community, and to your own child's education is irreparable. It cannot be stated strongly enough that Brearley's obsession with race must stop. It should be abundantly clear to any thinking parent that Brearley has completely lost its way. The administration and the board of trustees have displayed a cowardly and appalling lack of leadership by appeasing an anti-intellectual, illiberal mob and then allowing the school to be captured by that same mob. What follows are my own personal views on Brearley's anti-racism initiatives, but these are just a handful of the criticisms that I know other parents have expressed. I object to the view that I should be judged by the color of my skin. I cannot tolerate a school that not only judges my daughter by the color of her skin, but encourages and instructs her to prejudge others by theirs. By viewing every element of education, every aspect of history, and every facet of society through the lens of skin color and race, we are desecrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and utterly violating the movement for which such civil rights leaders believed, fought, and died. I object to the charge of systemic racism in this country and at our school. Systemic racism, properly understood, is segregated schools and separate lunch counters. It is the interning of Japanese and the exterminating of Jews. Systemic racism is unequivocally not a small number of isolated incidences over a period of decades. Ask any girl of any race if they have ever experienced insults from friends, have ever felt slighted by teachers, or have ever suffered the occasional injustice from a school at which they have spent up to 13 years of their life, and you are bound to hear grievances, some petty, some not. We have not had systemic racism against blacks in this country since the civil rights reforms of the 1960s, a period of more than 50 years. To state otherwise is a flat-out misrepresentation of our country's history and adds no understanding to any of today's societal issues. If anything, long-standing and widespread policies such as affirmative action point in precisely the opposite direction. I object to a definition of systemic racism apparently supported by Brearley that any educational, professional, or societal outcome where blacks are underrepresented is prima facie evidence of the aforementioned systemic racism or of white supremacy and oppression. Facile and unsupported beliefs such as these are the polar opposite of the intellectual and scientific truth for which Brearley claims to stand. Furthermore, I call bullshit on Brearley's oft-stated assertion that the school welcomes and encourages the truly difficult and uncomfortable conversations regarding race and the roots of racial discrepancies. I object to the idea that blacks are unable to succeed in this country without aid from government or from whites. Brearley, by adopting critical race theory, is advocating the abhorrent viewpoint that blacks should forever be regarded as helpless victims and are incapable of success regardless of their skills, talents, or hard work. What Brearley is teaching our children is precisely the true and correct definition of racism. I object to mandatory anti-racism training for parents, especially when presented by the rent-seeking charlatans of Pollyanna. These sessions, in both their content and delivery, are so sophomoric and simplistic, so unsophisticated and inane that I would be embarrassed if they were taught to Brearley kindergartners. They are an insult to parents and unbecoming of any educational institution, let alone one of Brearley's caliber. I object to Brearley's vacuous, inappropriate, and fanatical use of words such as equity, diversity, and inclusiveness. If Brearley's administration was truly concerned about so-called equity, it would be discussing the cessation of admissions preferences for legacies, siblings, and those families with especially deep pockets. If the administration was genuinely serious about diversity, it would not insist on the indoctrination of its students and their families to a single mindset, most reminiscent of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Instead, the school would foster an environment of intellectual openness and freedom of thought. And if Brearley really cared about inclusiveness, the school would return to the concepts encapsulated in the motto, "One Brearley," instead of teaching the extraordinarily divisive idea that there are only and always two groups in this country, victims and oppressors. I object to Brearley's advocacy for groups and movements such as Black Lives Matter, a Marxist, anti-family, heterophobic, anti-Asian, and anti-Semitic organization that neither speaks for the majority of the Black community in this country nor in any way, shape, or form represents their best interests. I object to, as we have been told time and time again over the past year, that the school's first priority is the safety of our children. For goodness sake, Brearley is a school, not a hospital. The number one priority of a school has always been and always will be education. Brearley's misguided priorities exemplify both the safety culture and cover your ass culture that together have proved so toxic to our society and have so damaged the mental health and resiliency of 2 generations of children and counting. I object to the gutting of history, civics, and classical literature curriculums. I object to the censorship of books that have been taught for generations because they contain dated language, potentially offensive to the thin-skinned and hypersensitive, something that has already happened in my daughter's 4th grade class. I object to the lowering of standards for the admission of students and for the hiring of teachers. I object to the erosion of rigor in the classwork and the escalation of grade inflation. Any parents with eyes Any parent with eyes open can foresee these inevitabilities should anti-racism initiatives be allowed to persist. We have today in our country, from both political parties and at all levels of government, the most unwise and unvirtuous leaders in our nation's history. Schools like Brearley are supposed to be the training grounds for those leaders. Our nation will not survive a generation of leadership even more poorly educated than we have now, nor will we survive a generation of students taught to hate its own country and despise its history. Lastly, I object with as strong a sentiment as possible that Brearley has begun to teach what to think instead of how to think. I object that the school is now fostering an environment where our daughters and our daughters' teachers are afraid to speak their minds in class for fear of quote-unquote consequences. I object that Brearley is trying to usurp the role of parents in teaching morality and bullying parents to adopt that false morality at home. I object that Brearley is fostering a divisive community where families of different races, which until recently were part of the same community, are now segregated into 2. These are the reasons why we can no longer send our daughter to Brearley. Over the past several months, I have personally spoken to many Brearley parents, as well as parents of children at peer institutions. It is abundantly clear that the majority of parents believe that Brearley's anti-racism policies are misguided, divisive, counterproductive, and cancerous. Many believe, as I do, that these policies will ultimately destroy what was until recently a wonderful educational institution. But as I am sure will come as no surprise to you, given the insidious cancel culture that has of late permeated our society, most parents are too fearful to speak up. But speak up you must. There is strength in numbers, and I assure you the numbers are there. Contact the administration and the Board of Trustees and demand an end to the destructive and anti-intellectual claptrap known as anti-racism. And if changes are not forthcoming, then demand new leadership for the sake of our community, our city, our country, and most of all, our children. Silence is no longer an option. Respectfully, Andrew Gutman. And that's the letter. Support this channel, go to paypal.me/BitcoinArmada, and of course, as always, angelpaste.com. Promo code Shapiro. Food grade plant oils, perfect for your skin. It makes dry skin not dry. It makes older skin look younger. It's amazing. In fact, why don't you join me now for the unparalleled pleasure The dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better, even being a talking toilet brush, the simultaneous slather. And it happens right now. Go. Ah, there we go. My skin, drinking it out. It's got what skin craves, people. And I'm running out of lines. Dwayne Cates, Angel Paste. All right. Rocking and rolling, guys. As far as New York City is concerned, guys, if the people in New York City are majority against this stuff, then the floodgates are about to break open. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's keep on going. What do you say? So this is real quick. So I'm a Catholic, as you know. A lot of you probably know how I feel about Pope Francis, the Fauci of popes. Anyway, let's just read this right quick. Anthony Fauci, Chelsea Clinton, to speak at Vatican Health Conference. Anthony Fauci, Chelsea Clinton, and Deepak Chopra are among the featured speakers at a Vatican conference being held in May on the interplay of mind, body, and soul in healthcare. The Vatican announced the conference organized by the Pontifical Council, that means popial, for Culture and the Cura Foundation, April 15th. Oh, that was 2 days ago. Exploring the mind, body, and soul, how innovation and novel delivery systems improve human health, will take place virtually May 6th through 8th. It will feature the CEOs of large pharmaceutical companies, including Moderna and Pfizer, along with celebrities active in medical philanthropy, global health advocates, policymakers, physicians, and religious leaders. The Vatican Conference's website lists more than 100 speakers, including Kerry Kennedy, Cindy Crawford, John Scully, Brandon Marshall, Joe Perry of Aerosmith, and Monsignor Dario Eduardo Vigano. Whoa, what? Prefect Emeritus of the Secretariat for Communications. I don't think that's the same guy. We need to look that up. There's another Vigano, Cardinal Vigano, who's totally based and would never go to this. Quote, together, they will focus on advances in medical innovation and seek to catalyze the creation of new interdisciplinary approaches and partnerships for curing disease and improving health, well-being, and understanding human uniqueness, the conference website states. Cardinal Gianfranco Ravasi, president of the Pontifical Council for Culture, will co-host the summit with Monsignor Tomás Trafny and Robin Smith, president of the Cura Foundation and author of Cells Are the New Cure. A statement sent out by the Holy See press office said that the conference organizers will also promote a roundtable on bridging science and faith that will explore the relationship of religion and spirituality to health and well-being. The discussion will deal with the deeper meaning of human existence and seek areas of convergence between the humanities and the natural sciences. These people have been nowhere near any of the natural sciences in their entire lives. They wouldn't know what natural science was if you pointed a gun at them. This is the 5th International Health Conference organized by the Pontifical Council for Culture and the Cura Foundation. The 4th conference, United to Cure, hosted at the Vatican in 2018, had Katy Perry, Deepak Chopra, and Peter Gabriel as speakers. The first conference in this series took place in Vatican City in 2011 and focused on advances in adult stem cell research. This year will be the first time that it is taking place completely online. The Vatican announcement said that priests, pastoral healthcare workers, and students from pontifical and Catholic universities worldwide are invited to participate in the conference. So I just know that all of y'all have got to be crazy stoked that Chelsea Clinton, Anthony Fauci, and Pope Francis, the frickin' Pope of whatever. You know that's going to be awesome, right? I mean, I've never been so freaking proud to be a Catholic in all my life. Wait, I shouldn't be sarcastic about this. I don't know what to do. But listen, if I can actually sit through this, if I can tolerate this bullshit, then I think you can count. I think the Catholic Church can really count on me if I'm willing to grit my teeth through this nonsense. But anyway, just to let you know, JamesMG at Verizon.net, JamesMG at Verizon.net. Everything is awesome with the second edition General Flynn Digital Soldier Q coin. It's badass. It's awesome. JamesMG at Verizon.net. Reading Epic Threads exclusive, guys. Don't forget also CooperandFrench.com, traditional shaving soap. You put it on your face and, well, it shaves closer and makes your skin less irritated. It's amazing. I'm never going to shave with anything else as long as I should live. Douglas McKinnon says, Archbishop Vigano. It's not Cardinal. Okay, thanks, Douglas. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it's Archbishop Vigano, not Monsignor Vigano. So my favorite Archbishop is not going to be at that conference, and that's a blessing, I suppose. All right, Saint Richie, a short special COVID edition in my inbox. Guys, we're going straight to Saint Richie. I mean, was there ever any choice? Obviously, we got to do that. Because I do want to talk more about COVID today. St. Richie, COVID special. I've got my own St. Richie folder. So let's share this and see what's crack-a-lackin' with St. Richie. It's a PowerPoint presentation, guys. This is good. Oh, my God in heaven. All right. Oh, it's just, okay. No big deal. It's just one slide. All right. I can't make this. This is going to be tricky. All right, so I'm going to read this to you, okay? Awesome. All right, this won't be so bad. I got this. In this world of COVID, I would like to take a moment to illustrate some things that may not be obvious to apparently 80+% of Americans. This may come across as callous to some listening, so I will apologize in advance if by chance you are simply too stupid to understand this illustration. Most states either have mask mandates or at a minimum, those in authority are highly encouraging both mask wearing as well as social distancing, especially at indoor events. What you see here is a basketball court. It's at the bottom. You should be able to see it. In most states, there are very strict guidelines when it comes to attending indoor events. For example, with basketball, it's pretty much mandatory at most schools that all chairs where players sit must be 6 feet apart per CDC guidelines. Also, per CDC guidelines, the fans must be wearing masks while inside the gymnasium. Some obey and some do not. But those are the guidelines. Once a player is ready to check into the actual game, he or she must first check in at the scorer's table, where both the scorekeeper and scoreboard operator will be masked. Once in the game, players may do whatever they want because that is when miracles suddenly begin to happen. Players may touch, push, slap, sweat, and rub up against any player they wish, because once you're on the court, COVID goes away. That's right. It's a miracle. Who could ever have known that all we needed to do was cram as many people as possible onto arenas and courts nationwide, and they would suddenly be free of COVID? This is why people like me simply do not believe that COVID exists, because no parent with an ounce of sanity would ever allow their child to step onto a court with a dozen other kids, many of whom are complete strangers, and then let them play a close contact sporting event. In order for that to happen, one of 3 things would have to be true. 1, you don't care about your child. 2, you're too stupid to understand the risk. 3, or you subconsciously know it's hogwash. Congratulations if you selected option 3. This simple illustration is one of many, many reasons why COVID, the actual virus, is non-existent. And that's the special St. Richie COVID edition. As always, thank you, St. Richie. I would like very much to show y'all something else right quick. sent to me by Ron Burtka. Ron Burtka sent me something absolutely amazing. Normally, I don't watch videos, so I remain committed to encouraging all of you not to send me videos. And yet you do. And yet, sometimes I watch them. Let me pull it up real quick. Just wow. Ron Burtka begins by saying, I know you can't stand people sending you videos. However, you should take time for this. It bolsters your stance on COVID-19. Miss watching your streams, but it happens, Ron Burtka. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this bad boy into this, and theoretically we should be able to hear it once I set all of the the speaker settings correctly. All right, you should be able to see this once I share it to the stream, and then in theory to stream. Okay, if anybody cares that I'm removing this, if anybody like copyright strikes me for this, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. But this is from BitChute, and it's very, very good. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and play this, and I'm going to look at the chat. Is there any reason why I shouldn't be playing Tom Cowan? Should you have stopped the RET? Oh, shit. Hey, everybody who's at Reading Epic Threads, check out the remainder of this stream. The key information from Dr. Thomas Cowan. Check that out at the Patrick Gunnels YouTube channel. And then the link to the replay on Odyssey will also be in the description on YouTube. Thank you, all of you Reading Epic Threads people. Subscribe at the Patrick Gunnels YouTube channel. Let me put it up real quick. Let's see, youtube.com/user/pgunnels. Does that sound right? Anyway, I'm pgunnels on YouTube. So anyway, so I'll put that up there. Do that, and I'll put this as the replay. youtube.com/user/pgunnels. Check that out. And Reading Epic Threads crowd, I will see y'all later.